Dang, I'm coughing loud on this mic. But anyways, welcome to another episode of The Film Doesn't Lie. Today we are watching Jesse Rodriguez, aka Bam, versus Sonny Edwards. Shout out to Timeless Boxing because I'm using your clips to go ahead and watch this video. And with that, we're going to segue into a couple of disclaimers, and we're going to talk about entitlement. In a couple of my other The Film Doesn't Lie episodes, I talked to you guys about copywriting and what that means from a YouTube standpoint. And let's be frank about this and educate you guys on what copywriting means. There's two things that happen from copywriting. You either get a strike, which means that after a while, your YouTube channel is going to get deleted, or the video gets blocked, or it gets blocked in certain areas. So somebody had commented and was like, oh, leave it on here, leave it on here. After I had said that I'll probably just go ahead and put it on my website, which means that you guys probably have to go ahead and pay. You and the person who commented, you're uninformed, misinformed, ignorant, uneducated. And that's not a slight to you. I just want you guys to understand that if my YouTube channel gets blocked, I can't post the Film Doesn't Lie episodes for you guys. So you can't benefit from it if you're benefiting from it. If it gets striked, I don't have a YouTube channel anymore for you guys. So the entitlement goes like this. You guys think that you can learn information without putting your skin in the game. Either paying for things or using your time to go ahead and research for things. All of that is something that's required for you to learn something new. This is not food, water, and salvation where everybody deserves the right to that. And if it doesn't happen, then obviously we got to think about it from a human standpoint. But this is having you guys understand that, like, I enjoy doing this stuff, and I'm going to continue to do this stuff. But if it becomes a hassle for me, I'm going to stop doing it. I'm just continue to train my fighters in person the way I like to go and train my fighters in person. If you stumbled upon my channel and I'm adding value to whatever you're learning, then, like, that's just how it works. If you're watching this today, because I'm dropping this today, and today is Saturday, and the reason why we're even talking about Jesse Rodriguez in the first place, you guys know him better as Bam Rodriguez. I don't know him personally, so I should probably stop calling him Jesse. Let's call him by his nickname from a boxing standpoint. Bam fights today. Bam is one of my favorite fighters on the card that's fighting tonight. You have Benavidez fighting, you have Haney fighting, and Norman. You have Yarde fighting against Benavidez. You have Bam fighting. You have Abdullah Mesa fighting as well. Bam is one of my favorite fighters. And so when we talk about one of my favorite fighters, it's like there's an attraction where you just want to see them do good. And you don't even know them. The same people who are watching this video for me, you guys have attraction to, like, hear me speak and you want to do me well. Or the flip side of things, you want to see me do bad because you hate me and you hate hearing my voice and you hate whatever preconceived connotations you have as far as for me speaking. But back to Bam, like, I want to see him do well. And I also like watching him fight. Now, with film studies, we have to understand that we are not watching this as a fan anymore. So I can't look at Bam's potential flaws and go ahead and be like, they're not there just because I'm a fan of Bam. We have to look at this from a clear lens because our job is to get better. Look at what Bam's doing well, add it to our game. Look at what Bam's not doing well and make sure that we fix it if it is in our game. So this fight particularly, hindsight, spoiler alert, Bam wins. But why we are watching this fight is because we are looking at the downside of head movement. And one of the punches that ends this fight is Sonny Edwards is going to slip a jab and get lined up for the next shot that Bam lands. But from an application standpoint, you have to prepare before you get into the ring to take advantage of this, and you have to have the IQ to go ahead and see this. There is also an interview. Man, I wish I could find it, but Robert Garcia is talking about Bam. He's talking about how Nonito Donaire, who is a professional fighter, Nonito is one of my favorite fighters as well, Filipino Nonito Donaire, the Flash. He does a video with Bam in the ring, and Bam's like super young and he has great footwork. And Nonito Donaire says on the film that, like, yo, he's gonna be great or he's gonna be good. I don't want to say his words exactly, but he says that. And then Robert Garcia actually talks about Bam's IQ and the reason why Bam doesn't watch film. He just takes 1 or 2 rounds, 3, 4 rounds, I think. I don't want to misquote him either. And he figures fighters out. That's a testament to Bam's IQ. but we are watching this to go ahead and see how Bam uses something that most of you guys say as good head movement to end this fight with Sonny Edwards. And I mean, we're not going to act as if we can get straight off the couch and say, hey, this is what Sonny Edwards is doing wrong, this is what Bam is doing wrong, and be like, we can figure it out. You can't just create a fighter in the lab and be like, beat this person. You have to actually prepare them. They have to actually be a real fighter in real life. So with that big disclaimer, let's get to the actual fight, which is what you guys came for in the first place. But here we are. Yeah, we're skipping the intros. That was a lot. My bad, y'all. Don't get mad at me. Okay, we're starting. I'm on. First things first, let's talk about what this stance is looking like. Sonny Edwards is orthodox. Nina, chill. Nina's my dog, and the moment, Nina's a girl, by the way, the moment that I do anything outside of giving her attention, that was her way of getting attention to us. So, Nina, chill. I'm doing a film study video. I'm holding her toy from here on out, so we'll see what happens. First things first, we're watching an orthodox fighter versus a southpaw fighter. People call this the open stance. I may call things differently in my system, but I'm going to tell you what they actually mean according to whatever your coach is or whatever video you're watching, so you can understand how this works. So open stance means southpaw versus the orthodox. The big thing about this that most coaches will say is that taking the lead foot dominance, right? But rear hands or back hands are more obvious to go ahead and see in this particular stance because it takes a lot of time to get over there to those particular shots. So right now they're playing the jab game.
Advantage coming in early and often, and they want to.
But he has to be careful here. He's going to be a hard target to hit today.
Bam! I mean, both these fighters are pretty 7 inches in favor of Bam Rock.
You look good. Rodriguez.
So, disclaimer as well, these are highlights. This is not the full fight. These are full fight highlights. So, that means that they're going to skip ahead to a lot of the engagements. What I identify engagements are, which means that I'm close enough to hit you, you're close enough to hit me, which means that we're actually punching each other, or we're aware that we're punching each other because we're both in range.
Test Sonny's chin. Sonny tests Jesse right.
So right now, Bam has been, if you guys see in the video, he's been jabbing to the body.
First foray into offense. These first few rounds are so built, big lead, able to cruise half the time.
You worked it, aren't you? And then he's got you ready.
And not only is he jabbing to the body, just in this particular situation, he's throwing 2 jabs. He's changing what coaches would call levels, what I call positions, which means that he's shooting 2 jabs high. He's dropping low to a lower position and shooting his rear hand, which is his left hand from the southpaw stance, to Sonny Edwards' body.
Stung Bam on the way in. And Edwards is punching right. Who do you think's faster?
I think so. He with his hands and put together really.
Left hook counter is so fast.
So those are 2 instances as well where you guys understand. In this particular stance, most fighters are susceptible to headbutts. And it's important for you to defend with your lead hand properly and both hands properly to prevent headbutts, because headbutts are your fault. They're your fault. I don't think at the end of the day, like when it comes to sports and it comes to accountability, the more you take accountability for something that could potentially be your fault, the more you can protect yourself from it. So headbutts are your fault. So the way that you make sure that you don't get headbutt is putting your hands where they're supposed to go ahead and be, so you don't worry about getting hit with headbutts.
Attention to the shots on the bell line.
Start with Bam. Let's see it.
A lot of body work in these highlights that you can see from Bam. And that's from his lead hand, which is his right hand from the southpaw stance, or his rear hand, which is the left hand in the southpaw stance.
He may have that 7-inch reach, but he looked like it's...
So 1 minute 18 seconds into the film study, or at least the fight, you can see that Bam is He's going to the body.
Not, and that's how quick Sonny is. So the timing and the quickness of his gap is not really making a difference. The world's first titanium.
We're not looking at ads either. How do we get out of here? Out of here fast.
Non-stick pan and blow your hair back. I'm Mike Miguel, 3 Michelin chef, and Cars could be on right away, and you knew this company was always going to be especially in these early rounds.
Well, you don't think Sonny really have the better of these early rounds? Got to make it work hard.
So that was a good pause. But look how obvious Sonny throwing his rear hand is. And let's back up actually.
Well, you don't think Sonny really have the better of these early rounds? Got to make it work hard. That's the whole point.
Sonny is in the southpaw stance. He has switched to the southpaw stance. So his rear hand is now his left hand.
Yeah, good body. And then we're not seeing Sonny move this fight. A lot of times in previous, the entirety of the ring now, Dobry on the center of it. Much power behind a counter for respect with a counterpunch. To get that sort of momentum. Bam's not really doubling the jabs or counters.
And here's an important note about this. I have a video that's actually going pretty well. What's the video called? The premise of the video is understanding your targets and where you're supposed to go ahead and throw shots. And I talk about this a lot of time with my fighters as far as for which toe you're supposed to throw shots over. It's very subtle too. When you're jabbing as a southpaw against somebody who's orthodox, or if you're orthodox jabbing against somebody who's a southpaw, it's kind of understanding where you're throwing this jab. You're not throwing this jab in the same location that you would against somebody who is in the similar stance than you in how you're taught. But you are jabbing in the same place based on how you should jab. So when I am a orthodox fighter and I'm circling to my left, because most people go ahead and circle over their left toe or over their left side or over their lead side is a better way to go ahead and say it. When most people shoot the jab, they shoot that jab over that same foot. But where you should really be shooting that jab is over the foot that you're traveling into. So as an orthodox fighter, if I shoot a jab and I'm circling to the left, I should be shooting my jab over my right toe because that's where my opponent is headed. So when you do these jabs correctly, it transitions to whoever you're fighting depending on where their head is, because you're the one who dictates how this fight goes. So if I'm circling to my left, my opponent's head is going to move towards my right. That's where I shoot the jab. If I'm a southpaw fighter and I'm circling to the right, my opponent's head is going to be moving over my left. That's where I should go ahead and shoot the jab. So that's just kind of like a subtle detail. Hopefully you guys pick up on that. If not, let me know, and I'll do a drill on it to be more specific about what that means.
Jab, just like grounds. Good shot to me. Back and forth. Big mouse there. That could be a real issue.
All right, I already know in my head that this film study is getting pretty long, and I don't want to waste your guys' time because we're already watching highlights anyways. But I want to get to the point of this film study where I wanted to talk to you guys about the importance of understanding somebody's head movement or taking advantage of someone's head movement.
You're fucking winning every round. That's your dominant. The doctor was in the corner of Sonny Edwards taking a good look. Ben's corner.
Semi-circle on the body.
How much of Sonny is what Bam's doing? Initially, Sonny needed more strength to the motor. Is more of what I thought I'd touched at to this point. 100 Rodriguez and a 60%. And I get Sonny Edwards, Mr. Defensive Wizard. Let him go. Yeah, it is. And this is coming up.
So this is like later in the fight, and Sonny's already taken a lot of damage. And so before we get to what actually happens, I do want you guys to understand that like how you feel in the beginning of a fight and how your technique is and what you do correctly when you are not fatigued is going to be completely different than when you are fatigued if you don't prepare correctly. Um, the saying is you're supposed to do the technique not only when you feel good, but how do I say this correctly? It's not doing the technique until you're right. It's doing the technique until you can't do it wrong. That's the correct way to say it. So right now we do have to look at Sonny Edwards as a human and look at the fact that like he may not be doing things in the same facet that he would be if he had more, if he wasn't fatigued. So I want to say that because this is closer to the end of the fight.
Broken. Grit and the courage is definitely there. The mouthpiece came out. Bam, on him clean. And now Sarps again. Down in the making. Huge point Philly. He's good. And you don't want no more luck to us. Bam was going to knock Sonny. He may very well do it. But if Sonny fought the 9th or 10th round. Oh, there's a nice kick.
So right now, like as you guys can see throughout the highlights, Sonny Edwards is switching his stance. He's going from southpaw to orthodox, southpaw to orthodox. And a couple of my fighters have asked, people have asked as well, is like, hey, what do you feel about switching stances? I will say this. If you are going to switch stances, you have to know all the same information that you would know if you are in one stance, which means what are your advantages offensively? What are your advantages defensively? What are your disadvantages offensively? What are your disadvantages defensively? And so if you are able to be in the gym enough or have the IQ enough or study enough to be able to understand that in both stances, then by all means you are going to be advantageous when you use both stances. But if you know more in one stance than you know the other, you can get taken advantage of from a fighter who understands that in just their one stance. So maybe this is why what's about to happen is going to happen, as I foreshadow. Maybe not, but we just do need to look at it.
And I'm using this is a play of heart. Heart and resist. I mean, this guy doesn't quit. He's still locked. He can't trade one anymore, can he? Well, that's his only hope. Oh, look at this.
So highlights say he's doing well. Highlights say he's doing well. Highlights say he's doing well.
That's always coming in, so you have to load up on one shot.
Every time he hits Sonny in the face, the blood's off him.
Bam doesn't stop Sonny, the doctor sells. Oh, there's one time left.
What happened there? And obviously we know Sonny Edwards is okay. But from this being a dangerous sport, we hope that like if we weren't watching this and we didn't know what was going on, we would hope that he'd be okay. But if you guys noticed in the highlights, if you didn't notice, I'm going to tell you what Sonny does a lot is when he gets off the line, he goes to his back foot. His back foot is now over his left toe or his left heel. Not in the same way that it would be if he was in the orthodox stance. So when he goes to now, they are both fighting southpaw to southpaw, which is very similar to orthodox. So this might be more something that you guys can understand a little bit more. If I jab and you slip to your back foot, you're lining yourself up for a right hand. So if now I throw a jab, like Mike Tyson says, make two punches sound like one, or your coach says, make two punches sound like one. When you throw that jab to go ahead and set up the right hand and flow through each other, I am now landing the right hand before you can either get to your back foot or before you can go ahead and come back in with the punch. And so when we think about coming back in with the punch, we are now thinking about something called a pull counter, which means I slip your jab to get away, to go into my back foot, and then I come back in with my own shot, which in this case would be Sonny Edwards' rear hand, which is his left hand from the southpaw stance. If you beat me, which means you make 2 punches sound like one, and you beat me with the left hand as I'm coming back in with Bam's rear hand, as I'm coming back in with my shot, you are going to not only use your full force of your shot, but you're also going to use the force of me coming back into the line with my own punch. So that's what happened right here. And it shows on the shot before. Like, look at how Sonny gets away from Bam's left hand. He dips. So that is him leaning all the way off his left heel, his back foot, to get away from Bam's left hand. Now, if now Sonny uses this information to come back in with his left hand to go and attack Bam, that's an opportunity for him to go and hit him. However, Bam sees that, and this is what happens. Fight over. So it took a lot to get to where we were going to go ahead and get to. But if you see, this is the advantage of understanding your head movement, which in Bam's standpoint, which is he's not the one doing pull counters, but he does understand his opponent's head movement and what that means to him from a good standpoint. And this is the disadvantage of not understanding how your head goes, even though you're trying to go ahead and weaponize things. But I wanted to pull up this video once again to show somebody who's fighting tonight. I'm excited for those fights tonight. It's a heavy card, so a lot to learn, a lot to film study. But questions, comments, what do you guys want to see next? I'll be making some drills off of this video, obviously. Once again, if this gets copywritten, this is going straight to my website only. If you complain about that, then you can find another YouTube channel to go ahead and watch. I really don't care. I have fun doing this. But let's chill with the entitlement to think that everybody needs to go ahead and give you something for free. But yeah, let's see how long this film study is, and I'll see you on the next one.